Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, and welcome back to my caster build playthrough of Dark Souls Remastered. This is episode number 10, being recorded on Monday the 2nd of July. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, whenever it is you find yourself watching this. So in the previous episode, we limped our way through Oolacile Township, and this bonfire is called Oolacile Township Dungeon, and we are about to enter an area called the Chasm of the Abyss. Chasm meaning a deep fissure in the earth, rock, or another surface, and or a profound difference between people, viewpoints, feelings, etc. So the one we're looking for is almost certainly a deep fissure in the earth, rock, or another surface. An abyss meaning a deep or seemingly bottomless chasm. Again, a wide or profound difference between people, a gulf. The regions of hell conceived of as a bottomless pit, and a catastrophic situation seen as likely to occur. Yeah, a deep or seemingly bottomless chasm. Emphasis on the deep part. So just a little, not exactly fun with definitions, but just to sort of give us some bearings as to the area in advance of the area we're about to enter. So we can see a number of item shinies in the distance, but can someone correct me if I'm wrong about this? But I want to say that in the original game, the draw-in distance for the humanity sprites was much larger. And that is to say that the humanity sprites, my first time coming across them, I seem to recall seeing them from afar and just being like, what in God's name is that? And not knowing what to make of it. And that was such a profound moment in my first playthrough of the DLC. So that's something that you can add, I guess, to the list of things that I've complained about in this playthrough. I haven't actually made a list, because we've just sort of been talking about things as we've come across them. But I'm sure you could compile one, and this would be a huge one. And I suspect that maybe it has something to do with... I don't seem to recall that this area dropped below 30 at any point in the original game. Certainly not in the same way that it does in areas like New Londo Ruins and Blighttown. But I do suspect that there's a performance-related reason for that. So, another question is... what does the abyss smell like? That's a good question. And I know it was one that was partially made in jest, or at least I assume it was, but... I would assume that this abyss has a smell, but that the abyss that we enter in order to fight the Four Kings... Thank you for that, Estes. Random chosen undead. But, because that abyss is in so much more of an advanced state, that abyss smells like nothing, in my view, almost certainly. Because it is nothing. There's nothing there that's an abyss. Well, and that was my point exactly, is that if you were just saying that in jest, my view is the same, Nicole, in that, you know, anything that you can talk about or explore in terms of the world's design, you should do that as both a designer and, you know, as someone who consumes the media. And I hesitate to even use the word consume, because to consume is to take something, use it, and not add anything to it. But in the process of having such discussions, we're not merely consuming the game. We are experiencing the game, but also doing so in an active manner, not a passive manner. By adding to the story, by making it richer, by exploring them together as a community. We are actively playing and enjoying and experiencing this game. And its online mechanics and the community around it. But yeah, I will agree with Theomany's note in the chat that I'm happy we can't smell an environment as well. And I've mentioned this before, but I remember when the N64's Rumble Pack was first announced, one of my initial reactions was, oh my god, that's so cool, I wonder if they'll come out with like a smell pack next. And it's almost certainly a good thing that's not going to happen. So when you run over here, there's going to be a bunch of these guys. No. I'm really in no position at this point to be giving anyone tips. None whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was so into our discussion. You know, playing with this caster build, if there's one thing it's demonstrated to me rather clearly, is that I rely a ton on bows. Because, you know, I generally, in the way that I framed it, I say that I just generally use a sword and shield, and not even really the shield. I use the shield more for very situational uses as opposed to just letting things bounce off the shield and then, you know, attacking in turn. But this playthrough has made it abundantly clear to me that without a bow, I'm not 1/10 the Dark Souls player that I usually am. Because bows are useful in just about every situation in these games. Dark Bead. Abyss sorcery discovered by an Oolacile sorcerer on the brink of madness. Fire successive dark orbs. In contrast to standard soul sorceries, Abyss sorceries are weighty and inflict physical damage. Perhaps a human soul is closer to matter in its humanity. So, souls don't weigh anything. Humanity weighs something. Darkness has a weight to it. I really do miss the draw distance. Light and souls are congruent and thus don't have weight. Humanity, gravity, and darkness are tangible things, as they are the direct inverse of light/souls. Hunter M says, souls are energy/fire, humanity is charcoal. Whoa, Aegon, that's heavy. Touche, Undersea Ellie. Heat rises, cold falls. All very interesting stuff, everyone. Yeah, see, it was... I'll never forget that moment of being, like, up here and looking down and seeing the humanity sprites. Like, I guess it is kind of cool seeing them phase in, but not when you know how it used to look. This is easily one of the coolest areas in all of Dark Souls, I think. It's so unsettling. It really is, Nicole, and it's just, oh, they are sensitive about their weight. We'll try not to, yeah, we'll try not to be mean. And over there, of course, we have a very familiar kitty. Hi, Alvina. So this is, interestingly, in contrast to the comments that we read in the previous episode, which discussed in favorable terms the idea that one's soul power, so to speak, is what makes one larger as time goes on and one becomes more powerful. And one of the examples raised was how Sif in the DLC is tiny, but then when you fight him, or when you fight Sif, I should say, because we're never really given a gender for Sif. So when you fight Sif, they are much larger. So why is Alvina the exact same size? Unless at no point, maybe it's just explained by the fact that at no point did she become more powerful. That she is who she is. She doesn't really fight. She has others do her bidding for her. But yeah, so I do wonder why Alvina isn't any larger, but I suppose that explains it. Or that could explain it at least. That she doesn't really have any interest in fighting things and accumulating souls. That she's as powerful as she wants to be, I guess. Because she's clearly got some mad skills with all of this warping that she's doing. And this thing that she's... Whoa, hell. Hi, friend. Oh, what happened? How did you get down here? No. Oh, okay. Where are you going? What just happened? What? I've never... Oh, there's another one here! No. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see where it goes. You have to get, like, just out of the radius of them wanting to hug you. What is he doing? What is it doing? Did they... Where this one is like on a mission. Like, where is he? Where is it going? It's alright. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Seriously. That humanity sprite went so far that it completely left our field of view. That was incredible. That little humanity sprite. The humanity sprite that could. And as we would expect, pyromancy makes rather short work of the humanity sprites. Again, as a result of the whole opposition between fire and dark. Here's another shortcut that is kind of pointless, but maybe not so pointless if you are playing the DLC. No, wait, that doesn't make any sense at all. I was going to say it's pointless if you're playing the DLC prior to having obtained the Lord Vessel, but you need to obtain the Lord Vessel before you can come here, because you need the broken pendant from the Duke's Archives. You can't get to the Duke's Archives until you place the Lord Vessel, which very clearly demonstrates, I think, that they completed this area before they knew how the player would access the area. Because otherwise there's literally no point to this, because at this point in the game you will be able to warp. It's a great shortcut. You can stoke the Oolacile bonfire to 20 and use it to fight... Okay, yeah, that's a good point. The amount of Estus you get is contingent upon the specific bonfire you sit at. So here we can see the secret little nook where Artorias left Sif. And unseen in this portrait is Artorias' shield, which is that which is responsible for whatever this barrier is that is currently surrounding Sif. Never missed so many sword swings in my life. So you can see when the humanity comes near Sif, that Sif is currently being protected. Ouch. Cleansing Great Shield. The steel great shield used by Knight Artorias, who succumbed to the Abyss. Artorias, deeply scarred by the Abyss, used this to form a barrier to protect his compatriot Sif. Although this drained the shield, its magic defense remains high. I love that moment. And the mere fact that having rescued Sif, we are able to summon that pooch in the boss fight via a summon sign kinda throws a wrench into any attempt that one might make to figure out what the connection is between the soap sign, the soapstone, and humanity. Is it that the soapstone, there's really no point in investigating the logic, the thing that ties it together with the world, with the story? Or is it just that the developers were like, okay, you know what would be awesome? If you could save Sif and then summon Sif in the boss fight. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing in the world? And they're right. But then did the next part of the conversation go something like, but how is Sif going to join us in the boss fight? Will it just happen? Or will we give the player the choice? And then, okay, we'll give the player the choice. How is the player going to summon Sif? I don't know, just use a soapstone. That's what I mean, Nicole. I'm not sure if it's just that they're saying, oh, well, just use a soapstone, who cares? The soapstone is fairly separate from humanity, isn't it? Hell, Gale figures it out and uses it against us in his boss fight. That is another excellent point. Sif wrote a note by holding the soapstone in her mouth. Sif is a smart doggo and a strong soul, so she can get herself summoned. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just things I've been wondering about. So now we need to go see where our humanity friend went. Because I want to say that it went up here. I hate this sorcerer so much. That sorcerer... They make runbacks such a pain. Dusk also doesn't look to use a soapstone. She just places her signature down. Is that the... I think it's the tiny one right there. Unless it's this one. Oh no. No, it was a tiny friend. No. It's so hard to gauge how far they are from you, especially when you're using pyromancies. Hard not to trade with them. No! I don't know if that's the little friend or not, but... He insinuated that the smaller humanities are children, more or less. Yeah, I don't know. You would think that might be the case, Vodka Foley, except that sometimes the little ones, they drop twin humanities sometimes. Is it not that you have more humanity and therefore a more powerful dark soul if you have twin humanities as opposed to just single humanity? I don't think they're necessarily arrayed in family units. I think that the whole point is that this is a place of lost... Maybe not lost souls, maybe that's a little bit cliche, but... the way they wander the place. A familial unit is like you're at home if you're with your family to a degree, right? I somehow doubt that FromSoft would include something like that in an area like this. We're going backwards, aren't we? Yes, we are. But, oh, you're a big friend. Where do you guys keep coming from? It's pretty cool, the animation of them shrinking as well. That's not something I'd ever noticed previously. Okay, I'm walking in circles, literally. Do you think it's inherently pitch black? Yes, I do think it's inherently pitch black, because blackness is also nothingness. That is an abyss. So the reason that we're seeing the floor here and whatnot is simply because this is, in some way, shape, or form, a lesser, maybe not necessarily a lesser version, but an earlier iteration of the abyss. Sorry. Do need all those humanities though, so that's quite nice. I think it's the same word that's used for Mikolash, so you could say host of or master of. In terms of, yes, the title Father of the Abyss. Yeah, so the consensus, at least according to conversations that we've had about this subject in different places over the last couple years, is that the Abyss didn't, and especially in light of the item descriptions, some of the item descriptions from the Ring City DLC, is that the Abyss didn't necessarily originate with Manus, but certainly he contributed either to its spread or to the... He helped us shape what the Abyss would become at a later date. If you can even use that. At a later date, that phrase. I'm struggling to keep them at a distance. Floors and such appear when the Abyss connects to the world. But then why is it then when we're fighting Manus? Oh, that hurts. I forgot that you friends aren't guarding an item or anything. Or are you? Yes, you are. The Help Me carving. According to Dark Souls 3, there are furtive pygmies, plural, as opposed to a furtive pygmy. Oh, I hate this part. We're almost certainly dead here. Whoa. That hurts. Oh, that's the friend! We're right back where we were. Oh, I almost killed our friend. Oh my gosh. Well, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. Yeah, the Four Kings Arena is an abyss in the true sense of the term. Alright, see you later, friend. Take care. Don't hug too many people. Alright, let us equip the Black Flame. We should also read the item description as well. Black Flame, a pyromancy discovered from the dark of the abyss by a pyromancer who wandered into Oolacile. Conjure a black flame in one's palm. Black flames are weighty and inflict physical damage, enough to smack away the mightiest of shields. just for comparison's sake. This is the abyss encroaching into the kingdom. See, I guess you could look at it multiple ways. Because you could say this is the abyss encroaching into the kingdom, or that this is the kingdom encroaching into the abyss. So, two ways, I suppose, that you could look at it, at least from that particular perspective. Oh, I thought I dodged that. I probably shouldn't have talked all that smack about that sorcerer. I really shouldn't have. Yeah, you're right, candidate. Okay, we'll make use of that bonfire now. I'll eat my words and admit that that shortcut is actually kind of useful. Get wrecked. Okay. We need you. And we need to go this way. So what even is this thing? I don't even know. And I'm just realizing that we also didn't reverse our hollowing, which means we won't be able to summon Sif. And I was intending to do that. But I don't anticipate we're going to be able to kill Manus on the first attempt anyway. But we might as well give it a shot. I think there's a blue Titanite slab over here. I'm sorry, little friends. Big friends. There's smaller pillars like that surrounding Manus' burial hole. Manus does kill it, though. White Titanite slab, not a blue. Legendary slabs are the heirlooms of a nameless blacksmith deity who forged the weapons of other gods. Weapons forged with this slab become rare, legendary weapons. Well, that's okay, Roxot, because we're just making the run to the boss from this point anyway. So, we'll see how we do. If we kill Manus in the first shot, then so be it. But I don't suspect that that's going to happen anyway, so... Because I've never faced Manus with a caster build. But yeah, I suspect that the reason they decreased the draw distance is because in 60 frames per second, they were running into glitches of some sort. But I don't know if that was ever an issue even with DS Fix. But it is disappointing. It's a very good message, and this is the reason why we went to go get the orange guidance soapstone, so that we could write a message that says, boss ahead. Because that right there, although this stuff isn't cooperating, but if you look, gosh darn it, you can't look down. But if you look just above Sweet D's head, that right there is Manus. So I noted this in my casual playthrough of Dark Souls 1. But you can, if you have the Hawk Ring, use the Hawk Ring and Red Tearstone Ring, highly upgraded Black Bull Ferris, some Feather Arrows, and you can, it takes a while, but you can kill Manus from right here. If you just line up the shot just right, so you won't be able to aim down, but as long as you get the arc okay. Which we almost certainly didn't, and that's why I think you need the Hawk Ring to do that. So I don't know if they put that in the game intentionally, but that's really funny and I think pretty cool. That's something that you can do. We're not going to do that, of course, but I can't remember if I did that during my casual playthrough or not. Because I know I did a lot of cheese in that playthrough. I don't know if Manus was one of the bosses I cheesed, though. I did that once, got him down to a sliver of health, and he still almost killed me. Yeah. And boy needs Visine. Yeah, he's been hitting the vape a little bit too hard. Alright, well, here goes nothing. I don't know if that's any use whatsoever, but better than he's gonna know where we are, so the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring won't really do much for us. That was terrible. Not doing a ton of damage to him. Ouch. Do we want to go buy some more spells from Quelana? I feel like we should go buy more spells from Quelana. We got enough souls to use. Let's go do that. So, thanks to, I think it was Long John's McGee earlier in the playthrough who gave us the witch ring, the old witch's ring. Old witch's ring. We'll be able to talk to Quelan, Fair Lady, but for now we're just going to go talk to our other sister, Quelana, and see if she has any more spells for us to buy. Hi, sis. What's going on?
Ah, it has been some time. Truth be told, I thought you had perished.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're confident in our abilities. Oh yeah, she's got plenty of stuff for... Oh my gosh, I don't even know if we have enough souls. Well, let's see. Yeah, we didn't have nearly as many souls as I thought we did.
Ah, there you are. I was expecting you. Let us begin.
Oh, I'd love to get Firestorm, but I also... Yeah, we're gonna go with... Because I don't know that you could really use Firestorm very well against Manus. Because he's so fast, he'd probably wombo combo you before you're able to even do that.
The Witch of Izalith. Please, do not speak of her. I abandoned my mother and sisters and fled to this land. Now I roam these parts, feigning ablution and pretending to seek answers.
Does she forget that I'm her sister? We fled together, don't you remember? I'd probably want to forget my face too, but come on.
Pyromancy is the art of it. Now go. Whatever you do, do not crack and go hollow, lest my time spent on you be wasted.
Yeah, I guess she did abandon us. Okay. Hopefully we don't get invaded immediately, but I suppose we'll see. I hope that'll do it. I don't know if it will, but we'll see. You can nail Manus with any spell, it's all about timing, yeah. Well, that's what I'm afraid of. Because I'm not sure that I have the timing at all. Okay, let's watch this again so that we can see Sweet D's face unhollowed. There we go. Oh, she's looking good. No, gosh, I keep missing the dodges. Pointless to be blocking. I don't know why I'm blocking. Oh, I guess... Oh! I forgot we have help this time. Beautiful that they don't make you actually select yes. Very smart design decision there. Whoa. Is Sif a Sunbro? What? I'm gonna assume that's just the lighting. Yeah, it was just the lighting. That's very strange. So, it looked like she was a warrior of sunlight for a second. Oh, gosh. That. Are you supposed to dodge into that? Sif is doing all the work here. gosh. I was right up against the barrier. I couldn't move for some reason. Much too early. No, that was dumb. Oh no. Oh, wombo combo. Oh, just too early. Come on, Sif, what are you doing? I would presume Sif doesn't use Estus. Oh, crud. No! Gosh darn it. My timing is so off. It is so off right now. But we're gonna keep trying for now. No, lack of rolling is not OP. Lack of being able to dodge. Oh, crap. No! Oh, that was pathetic. There go all the souls, too. Oh my gosh. We can't have 2 episodes in one playthrough where it ends because of successive failures at killing a boss. We can't do it. We can't. And a very... Whoa! That was a nice little jump you did there, friend. Mind if I get by? Thank you. every time with that attack. Did I miss it? Oh my god, I missed it. I was too early there, but thankfully out of reach. I think it's because I was blocking. Can't summon the pooch while you are blocking. I don't know what the heck happened there. Manus is confused because there's two of us. Wombo combo. No. No. Gosh, he just ignores Sif. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, we were dead. Yes! We did it! No. Talk about an unintentionally inappropriate juxtaposition. The celebration. Thank you very much, everyone. Celebration combined with this appearing in the background. So I'd be very interested in hearing from the women in attendance here on their thoughts about whether or not we should be annoyed at the very obvious damseling that is happening here. Interested in hearing from everyone, of course, but I know that we do have several women watching. I am not a woman, so I've sort of expressed how I feel about this storyline before. And that it does make me feel a bit icky. The whole Dusk being... Okay, cool, Twiggy. Thank you very much. I look forward to reading them. And yeah, so that goes out to everyone. If anyone has any thoughts on Dusk being a damsel in distress, and whether or not it's something that FromSoft successfully subverts, are they even trying to subvert it? Yeah, I did see someone mention that in one of the comments, or in the chat of an earlier episode. That this is basically... It's obvious, it's annoying, it makes me tired. Because you would expect that FromSoft would do something different, right? I feel that she's kind of been reduced to a damsel. So Manus dissolves into Dusk. I'm not sure if that's a gameplay thing to swap models when one dies, but given that Nishandra, etc. state that they are daughters and Nishandra looks like Dusk, yeah, that's another thing. Because then Dusk turns into... If Dusk turns into Nishandra, And Nashandra is basically the seductress, which is another gendered trope that is a little bit, again, icky. Makes me feel weird. And that they probably could have done something different. They are great, but not beyond status quo. I think that they disrupt the status quo in a lot of ways with their games, and they subvert a lot of things. And I suppose this will be a major point of discussion for Dark Souls 3. Maeglin Amandel, yeah, that's right. I started reading that essay. Maeglin Amandel has an essay all about how gender is treated in Dark Souls. And, it's so good from what I've read of it so far, but like, when I started reading that, and when I read an essay, I try to make sure to give it my complete attention so that I can read the entire thing and make notes and think about it. And I started doing that on a day like a month and a half ago, and haven't had an opportunity to return to it yet, but that is something I intend to do. But yeah, just something to throw out there for later discussion. It is something gender in the Souls games, and to what extent they reinforce problematic gender ideas, or whether they subvert them, and in what instance do they do either of those things. Yeah, for the time being, let's just wrap things up, because I'm pretty tired, so... Yeah, her character is almost reduced into a stereotype here, and it's a trope you see in Japanese media a lot. Women whose entire personality revolved around being useful to others. And Theomany, even if Dusk doesn't literally turn into Nashandra, the implication is that the death of Manus takes something important from Dusk to create the daughters, and later granddaughters of Manus. Or, again, just wondering about this question of how much time passes for Dusk versus us. Who knows? Yeah, that's an excellent point too, Undersea Ellie, and you hear that a lot with respect to Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire, when people bring up, especially in the television series, how they use things like sexual assault and rape as set dressing in a scene. It's just something you see happening in the background. And then people say, oh, well, of course, it's supposed to be medieval. And these things happen in the real world. But not dragons or any of the other magical things that happen in this world. Like, it's a series that I love, but it's also, it shares a lot of the same issues. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the camera there. Shares a lot of the same issues that... Yeah, like, it just doesn't make sense. Why is it one and not the other? If it's important to be a period piece, be a period piece. Why are there sci-fi elements? But then when it comes to the question of whether or not women might be depicted differently than they were supposedly during the Middle Ages, or the medieval ages, then, you know, why is it necessary to do all these things? It really isn't. So, I don't know. But that's an excellent point, and I thank you for raising it. Who was that? That was Ellie. Thank you, Ellie, for raising that point. Hello.
I have awaited thee. Thou hast rescued Princess Dusk, and rid us of that terrible primeval human, even halting the spread of the abyss. I salute the grandeur of thine enterprise. Please allow me to express my gratitude. I thank thee, as do we all.
So presumably she just gave us part of her body? Here, eat me, you'll heal? I don't know how the mechanics of that is supposed to work.
I will remember thee But I will keep thy story to myself. This is the best way. For thou art come from a time far ahead. No one will sing thy praises. But yet thy greatness shall live on. For it shall be my purpose to remember all thou hast done for us.
So basically, she doesn't want to confuse things. She doesn't want people to ask questions about what happened. And therefore, that's why everyone thinks it's Artorias. Because how do you explain this undead coming from the future? And again, maybe that's a commentary. Maybe that's the developers also saying, if you think too much about this, it falls apart. So we'll just say it was Artorias, even though it was really you. I don't know.
Was thine eye glancing hither? Thou needst not hide thy wonder. I am a mushroom, after all.
Yes, you are. I was just wondering about the stuff you gave us that, you know, would you be offended if I ate it in front of you? Like...
May the flames guide thee.
Okay. Predestination paradoxes are icky. Yep. They're deciding which myths support their culture. I'm sure Artorias of the Abyss serves more to their societal narrative than D of the Future Place. That is, again, a tremendous point, Ellie. Sweet D the Time Traveler. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to have to explain to the princess and, like, the royal court of this place, like, hey... Although... at the same time, it's like, we're saying it wouldn't be believable that, like, a time traveler... That this person has to explain that it was Artorias, because it would be too much to say that a time traveler did it. And yet, the person who is doing the explaining is a friggin' mushroom. It's a talking mushroom. But time travel? No, that's too complicated. Unless Dusk actually thinks that she doesn't know that Elizabeth is a mushroom. She just like talks to her behind a curtain or something. There she is. Hi, friend.
I am Dusk of Oolacile. It is an honor to see thee again. I shall follow thine wishes. My home of Oolacile was reduced to ashes long ago in my time. I have been alone ever since, but to be summoned thus, and to be of service to thee, it is most rewarding. Oh, forgive me. Such a long past time is none of thine concern.
You'd be surprised.
This may strike thine ear as somewhat peculiar, but long ago, in my homeland of Oolacile, I was beset by a creature from the abyss. I would have perished then, were it not for the great knight Artorias. In truth, I saw little of what transpired, for mine senses were already fled, but even still, there was something about Artorias, a certain balance of the humors that quite perfectly fits your semblance. Heavens, could it be that Dear me, that was Oolacile, many centuries ago. Please excuse my fanciful musings.
Oh, come on. Oh, no. How fitting is that? Okay, see you later, friend.
If thou art in need, pray summon me again. I wish to be of assistance. May the flames guide thee.
They are invading because we have not defeated the Moonlight Butterfly yet. Is there a particular reason we kill the butterfly beyond the fact that it just happens to be there? You get the key to this tower here, as well as the Divine Ember. This is the worst area to be invaded in because it's so huge. And the invasion spawns don't tend to work very well. So let's go find the invader. Oh, there they are.
Very good.
GG. Alright everyone, well that's gonna do it. Candidate has suggested that Dusk has some additional dialogue, and that perhaps it's after we defeat Calamite. So we're gonna do that in the next episode. But it's been a long episode and a long stream, 4.5 hours at this moment, so we are going to call it there. So thank you all very, very much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.